Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show. As a reminder, trading is risky. Don't follow anything that we say on here. Use your own strategies. Again, please protect yourself from the risk of trading. It's not easy. All right. Today, we have a guest. It is Roblesh. Is that right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, that's my Discord username.
Okay. Is that like a nickname? Do you mind sharing your actual name?
Yeah. My real name is Hector.
Hector. How did Roblesh to Hector?
So last name, first initial.
Got it. Okay,
kind of like
cool.
Corporate name, you just kind of get used to it, and login systems and whatnot.
Cool. You got a very deep voice, bro.
Oh,
You got the deepest of the voices. It's easy to listen to, right? That's a positive thing for the air. Hello, everyone. Hello, Tycoon, Thanos, Josh Allen, my homeboy Josh Allen. You ready for the season? Traders Nest. Hello, Rob Whitlow S/R Flip and Yash. Hey. Hello. Let's go. Yes, let's go, Thanos. Snap those fingers. Cool. So today, we have a show that's pretty cool. So he would be titled a quant, a analyst, or what's the official name?
Yeah, so the system is we call it the fractal in our communities, but it's based off of quantitative analysis. So it is a quantitative analysis system that we call the fractal, and I'll get into it in a moment.
Okay, I think you've gone in your back history before with the morning show, but for anybody that maybe missed that, let's do a quick overview. How did you get into trading? Where did you start? And how did you get to where you're at now with all this super wazoo stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So started getting involved maybe about 10 years ago while I was in college. 10 years ago was 2015, and I had friends. I went to school for engineering and had friends that were buzzing about crypto. Okay. And they were telling me to get in all these coins that are still going on today. And it's one of those things, it's like hindsight, it would have worked really, really well.
Hindsight's always 2020. You're like, oh yeah, I don't know about these coins.
Yeah. So that's how I started getting involved with it. And then just long-term buying and holding, and then options over time, and now futures day trading.
Got it. Cool.
So over about 10 years time, and then learning strategies, listening to people, and then coming across this about 2 years to a year and a half ago.
How did you find the community and the software like that? Because I want to say I researched stuff before for like analysis, and it's like there's not really info out there. So it's kind of cool that you found this.
Just a lot of digging, and then I came across seriously, like just so much digging and trying to figure out there's got to be a database approach, because so much is like feeling and pictures and lines and colors, and I just thought there's got to be something more. So I came across a community, and the owner of that community really took me under his wing, started exposing me a lot to this system. And then I got a mentorship with somebody who was he's very, very proficient in order flow and use of this system as well. So I started taking from the two of them a lot, and started developing some more conviction, some more understanding, and basically just try to do the same for others like they did for me. So I've been acquainted with the system, which I'm going to touch on some major elements of it to help some people out for it. Weekly outlook for about 2 years now. So I'm very grateful and just wanting to give back for how these two individuals gave for me.
That's awesome. That's a cool little story.
I didn't invent this at all.
You didn't invent it, but you use it. That's
I did not invent it, but I use it, and I give high honor to Russell, who you can see at the top left. He has this copyrighted. And my two mentors as well also give high honor to Russell. He used to work for build systems for different hedge funds, and
oh wow, okay,
like the big ones, and then he built this on his own, has it patented, of course, has it copyrighted, and so I give high honor to him, and I would not be here today without the system that he's built.
Is there a link or something you can share? Can
Yeah,
other
absolutely.
people access this system, like if they want to, or is this like a closed system that only...
It's paid. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'll definitely share those links where I can here. I'll try to get to that by the end of the stream.
Okay,
I
awesome.
don't have my YouTube open right next to me.
Yeah, no worries. We can share all those links at the end.
Thank you.
As always, we're gonna do a giveaway of some sort today, depending on how many likes we get. More likes, probably more giveaway. That's a good standard
Love
to
it.
have. More likes, more giveaway stuff. Right now, we're also doing a 60%. That ends today. So if you've been sleeping on it, make sure you take advantage. Let's jump into your screen, which for some reason is not being shared. I know there's a little, I guess you're trying on one browser, Safari. I don't know if it's going to work right or not, but I don't see your screen shared right now.
I'm sharing it now.
Yeah, it's not showing up. Raj, where are you at, buddy? Oh, there it is. There
okay,
it is.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
So what is quantitative analysis? Well, basically it's doing analysis off of mathematics and a lot of physics theory behind the scenes. I am not a quantitative engineer. I went to school for engineering and can understand a lot of the concepts underneath the hood, but I didn't develop this system. I just want to make that very, very clear. Like I said in the morning show, I like to surround myself with people that are smarter than me and just learn from them and then just try to continuously learn. So, I mean, I'm very well acquainted with the system at this point. And so I'm going to try to talk about some high level things that everyone can understand without having to be involved for 2 years. And then see some helpful, actionable information. Long story short, this system works really well when we approach it in primarily 2 layers. One layer is contextual, and the other layer is actionable. There's a lot of information out there. I touched on this in the morning show. There's a lot of information out there about information regarding the market, but a lot of that information is not actionable. It's just contextual. And there's some people who make very big claims about actionable information, but don't really tell you what's going on behind the scenes. They don't help you to understand the bigger picture of what's going on with the markets. And understanding those 2 layers is really important, in my opinion, especially when approaching a system like this, because it's based off of data, and data can paint a lot of pictures if we're just looking with different lens. And so we have to make sure that we're looking at good information with good interpretation. And when you can do those 2 things and then have good management, then you can be long-term successful, especially with a system like this. So I want to touch on really those 2 things today, the good information and the good interpretation, because this is not, of course, to knock any other strategies, but for me, what helps me to have high conviction is actual data, not painting boxes, colors and lines. That has not helped me. What's helped me is understand like market maker hedging pressure, understanding where market makers have the greatest exposure, not talking about gamma exposure, seeing where market makers fall out of delta neutrality. And this system helps me to see those kinds of things, probabilities of where a move can go, rather than I have a box here, and if there's support, I'm going to buy. I know that works for many people. For my analytical type of approach, engineering background, that has not worked for me. This has worked for me. And so I'm going to touch on it a little bit today. In fact, you can see my screen is no longer sharing. Hold on. So in this particular system, the way that it works is that trends are measured variably according to what's called waves. So if you were to see this chart, you see this black line in the middle, and then you see some candles above and some candles below. Now, there's this concept of a pivot that's utilized in other strategies, primarily one like order flow, where when price crosses that pivot, you can be biased long, and if it crosses below, you can be biased short. It's a similar concept in here, but the candlesticks are not represented in a linear manner like they would on a normal chart. You pull it up, you see price move up and down. Here, it's actually represented across a pivot. So in fact, I could actually change the settings here, graph settings, and show you the linear graph. It's actually overlaid, so it's a little bit hard to see, but essentially that's what you would normally see on a chart. In fact, there we go. This is what you would normally see. Price go up and down in the last, since 625. So in the last 10 days, 10 sessions. That's what you normally see. Well, in a fractal chart, and when I say fractal, I'm talking about fractal geometry. So what that means is essentially that when you look at fractal geometry, you zoom in and you'll see shapes that are representative of when you would zoom out. It's a pretty cool concept, but essentially in mathematics and physics, this is present. And you can represent market price action in a fractalized manner across a pivot, then measure probabilities for certain moves once we've crossed a pivot. It's actually really, really cool. I hope I'm not losing anyone, but I'm trying to give an overview.
Yeah, this is pretty advanced concepts. I would definitely recommend people watch this multiple times.
Yeah.
More or less, let's say you're looking at an hour time frame.
Yeah. All right.
And you see a pattern, right? Right. Most people know patterns, right? Yeah. That's what he's saying. So if you see one on an hour time frame, you're probably going to see it on a 15. You're going to see it on a 1 minute, right?
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
Fractal in nature. So that's all you need to really take away is look, these higher time frame patterns reapply in lower time frames. They're the same thing, right?
That's correct.
So that's what he's saying in this statement. Replay it if you want to hear it again, but he just explains it more elegant than I do.
No, that was really good.
Just to simplify it, right?
Yeah.
Very advanced concepts. There's a lot going on this screen, but I'm very intrigued by this. Like, let's hear more.
No, and Brian, thank you for breaking that down. I really appreciate your correspondence there, because this helps us to not only understand context, but it also helps us to prepare for action. So just like you would do analysis on a multi-time frame in a multi-time frame manner, meaning a lot of people do this across different strategies. They look at the daily, the weekly, the daily, the hourly, then the 15-minute, then the 5-minute, and even the 1 minute. That same principle, looking at the bigger picture and then the smaller picture, applies in this system because it's a principle, it's a truth that helps with analysis so that you don't become so tunnel visioned that you miss the bigger picture, and also you don't just look at the bigger picture, you can take action about what's happening intraday. So one of the things that I do using this system is I look at the daily, then the hourly, then the 15-minute. And when we are trading NQ or the NASDAQ, the equivalent ETF would be QQQ. For ES, it would be SPY. And the reason why I look at QQQ and not directly NQ is because QQQ updates intraday. The way that the Yahoo database updates the futures tickers is 10 minutes behind. So I look at QQQ so that I don't fall behind. And then on my chart, I actually have the even numbers of QQQ translated over to NQ. It's like a multiple of 41.25. It's just for me to not have to always be context switching between a NQ and QQQ. It's just helpful to know where we are. But long story short, going back to this, I'm looking at the daily. Now, you see this going up and down, and you see this wave 1 daily. This number 1 is basically just measuring the length of a trend on a daily time frame in a fractalized manner in the last 200 days. So what does that all mean? Oh, great.
You lost it again. So is that, it kind of almost sounds like the wave is almost like an ATR where it's kind of measuring how big the wave is, and it...
Yes, not like an ATR directly, but conceptually, yes.
Okay, so the wave is kind of the size maybe of the move or the trend or whatever you want to say. Okay,
yes, because you can change the length of the wave from 1 to 2, 3, 7, 50.
So 1 stands for the day, 2 would be 2 days. Is that correct or incorrect?
No, so that's proprietary, exactly like how these translate over. Okay. But generally the principle is the larger the number, the larger the trend.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So the standard for looking at actionable and contextual information is the 1. When you're trying to look for longer trends, you lengthen the wave. So for example, wave 7 is actually a really good one. I'm going to try to move through this in a smooth manner. And Brian, please don't hesitate to interrupt me, ask for clarification, ask for more questions. I just switched over to wave 7 daily.
Yeah, we're not seeing your screen. I don't know why it's having such a hard time keeping your screen up, but let's see if you can share it again.
Yeah, I just shared it again.
Let's see if it pops in here. While you're doing that, so people are asking, can you share any kind of resource for beginners? That would be like, where can you find information about this? Where can you read about it? Or do you basically need to pay for the software and then you get access to some of the education?
No, you can get the education for free.
Okay.
And there are certain elements, certain tools of this system that are available for free.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So I will try to give as much information as possible, just trying to give as much visual, and then I'll just resource dump everything for everyone.
Okay, that works really well. Okay, cool.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, there's books you can read about these kinds of these concepts, but then there's a difference between reading the theory and then getting hands-on.
Yeah, yeah, so, that's like any strategy. It's like it back tests a certain way, but does it really, can you actually take trades on it, right? Is it actionable information? And that's what you're saying, is this system, there is actionable information you can actually trade on, which is great. Does this system also provide like data, like for instance, current win rates or current probability? I'm sure it's not win rates, it's probably probability based.
It does. It's by probability based.
I see NVIDIA in there. So this works on more than just futures.
Every ticker that's in Yahoo Finance.
Got it. Okay.
So there's these bands here. I'm going to try to just give a general overview and then do a deeper dive wherever, Brian, you see fit.
Okay.
But there's these bands that basically on this particular time frame and wave analysis, I can see the probability of going beyond this point. So that 10%, that meaning it's 10% probability of going beyond this point on the daily time frame with a trend length of 7. So we hit the high of day today was 57, 40 something. Can't remember what it was.
So those basically it's saying, and this is kind of information you could use pretty easily. Ultimately, let's say you're looking to get long right here.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you only have a 10% chance to get to that next area
to break beyond.
And a 5% chance. So technically, at this point, and this is me just keying at it very quickly, you probably wouldn't want to be long up in this area. You'd more probably look for a short, and it looks like your probabilities actually jump pretty high, 80% chance that it's gonna at least break the low there.
Correct.
That's awesome. I mean,
and what you're seeing, and that's essentially in the right direction, because this purple line here is what's called a vector, which basically is learning momentum of this current trend.
Okay.
And so what we want to watch on the way down is whether or not we find support at 551.61. Currently, we're at what, 554. I don't know what it is. I would have to update this, but this is wave 7 daily. This is for bigger picture stuff. This is for like 2-3 week out calls or puts.
Got it.
So like if I'm trying to look on the intraday for our purposes, let's say we're doing intraday futures, right? Let me just pull up NQ. We hit what? It was 23,112, I think, this morning. And in fact, so you see this 23,111.90.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually here since yesterday. That it measured 5% probability to go beyond 23,111.90. Now you probably say 90 is not even a tick. Well, yeah, because it's measuring average and math behind the scenes. So basically, this would be 23,112. But last night it measured that it was 5% probability to go beyond that. So if today we would have seen price to get there, you would have had a 95% probability for reversion based off of this analysis from the wave 10-15 minute. I mean, 95%, those are really good odds. And so that just talk about how this information is so easily actionable. But one of the reasons why I just don't click one analysis in one wave is because I like to also understand where we are in the bigger picture. If we would have, I'm so sorry, it's failing again. But if
that's, I mean, I don't know anything about the system. I haven't learned anything about the system other than what you've just told me. But
yeah,
obviously, if you know that the market has a 5% chance of getting beyond that point, one, it's going to give you, let's say you're looking for a long that day. You're like, well, that's probably not a very high probability long opportunity. Yeah. Maybe if I can find a level to get short, or maybe let's say a secondary pullback or something like that, or retest at that level, now you have a much higher probability to make it to the next level. So even me, not knowing much about the system, I'm already finding value in that. So that's pretty crazy.
No, it's really, really crazy. In fact, I actually posted last night. This is
nice. Your stuff is back. So
okay, cool.
Let's use it while we have it.
Yeah, I actually posted last night. Just look, this was 18 hours ago. I said bracing for a squeeze tonight into tomorrow. What did we have this morning? We had a squeeze long. How did I know that? Because there's this tool at the bottom of the screen, and I just screenshot it across multiple time frames and waves to get some confluence. So basically you want to look at multiple waves, multiple time frames to stack up evidence for conviction.
Got it.
Stack up the probabilities upon each other.
People should understand that Confluence is, it's a lot of different systems. Confluence could be daily VWAP stacking up with weekly VWAP or something like that. And you have two levels lining up. And when you have two levels lining up, technically you have two setups that are setting up. And when you have two, it makes your odds a lot better. So let's say you have a level that's a 5% chance to go beyond, and then he has a squeeze alert maybe in that same area or something like that. Now you have two confluences stacking up. Or let's say you have a wave 10 stacking with a wave 7, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
Kind of sounds like
you're already on it. You're already on.
Then you have confluence. And when you got confluence, now you have even more conviction. And just like you, Roblesh, me personally, I am data driven. I went down the road of being like trying to be intuition and like, oh, I can figure out this market. But the more data that we provide and the more data that I have adds more conviction. And with more conviction, you do less stupid stuff, right?
100%.
That's really what it comes down to is if you know that this trade is phenomenal and it has a target to here, then likely it's going to be way easier for you to hold it versus I have no idea what I'm trading. I kind of think this level looks cool. And now you have zero conviction because you have no idea what the probabilities are in it. This system seems like it would fit my style of trading because I'm very analytical. I love data. I'm not an engineer like you. I'm not fancy. I don't have the pedigree like you, but I love systems like this. So very intriguing. I've never seen it. I searched a bunch for stuff like this. I just never found it.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to be on.
For you, good for finding this, because this is a hidden gem.
No, I'm certainly going to share it with everyone. With you, Brian, too. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is that I posted this last night for evidence, because when I saw this on multiple time frames, talking about that Confluence, I was like, there's going to be a squeeze tomorrow. Like, this was last night. I took these screenshots just because I knew there was going to happen. Well, how did I know? Well, the data was stacking that we had a squeeze. And then when you saw this morning, there was that climb last night with China's CPI into, and this was before even China's CPI took place, that it was measuring that a squeeze was coming. We had a dip down, and then we longed since then into this morning. And then when you could have seen, once it hit that 23,111, perhaps on the NQ chart, you actually would have seen a similar statistics and probabilities on the ES chart, QQQ and SPY. There was a high probability for reversion. We would not go further.
You look at the QQ, you look at the SPY, do you find confluence between those?
Yes, and that gives you even more conviction, because especially like, there, again, going back to concepts and principles that are prevalent in other strategies, but because it's a prevailing truth of how the market works, when there's synchronization between ES and NQ, or SPY and QQ, you can have more conviction, because a lot of the assets underneath the hood are the same. And so I do that. I look at ES and NQ, and I look at SPY and QQQ to help me to understand where I can be actionable and not just feel my way through my analysis.
Well, okay. And then with these probabilities and with Confluence, you can build systems around. I think somebody had a question like, what's the win rate, average win, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, look, this is the framework, and you could probably find crazy subsets of strategies within this framework.
Yes.
So once you have a framework, and it's this or NADRO or ICT, whatever you're using, you can develop your own strategies through that, right? And I think that's, with this information, just from what I've seen so far, is I'm already thinking of strategies in my head, like, this particular strategy, without really even knowing it yet. So that's amazing. This is good stuff. I agree that it is definitely actionable, because it's telling you percentages of things, which, when you know percentages, you can start thinking of ways to work in that, to be like, okay, well, percentage is 5%, looks like we have a 60% of probability to break beyond this point. So now you'd have to do the math to figure it out, but you have a pretty high probability of maybe having a profit target there or something like that.
Yes.
Your risk could be very tight. So this is amazing. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Brian, you're spot on. This is exactly how it's intended to be used. And so, again, there's different tools underneath the hood. Like, for example, you and I, when we look at a chart and look at a linear chart, you can see when there's double bottoms or like double tops, sometimes like heads and shoulders.
Which both of those patterns have edge, right?
Yes.
They have edge. So if you add that with your system, now you have extra confluence, right? Yeah. So you're not getting rid of everything that works. You're just introducing things that provide even more favorability, more probability, more edge. I love this type of stuff. Data is amazing. I love it.
That's exactly what how Brian has summarized it, is absolutely perfect. Because what's also interesting about double bottoms and double tops is that not every double bottom and double top that you see in a linear chart is obviously fractalized, meaning the fractal can actually measure how volume, options, price action, order flow was present at particular areas that may not look like a double bottom on a linear chart, but act like a double bottom in a fractal chart.
Wow.
So in fact, sometimes the fractal chart will tell you that there's double bottoms in areas that are not obvious on a linear chart, which give you even more conviction for a reversal. So just like little things you see here, like double bottom here, open states. If you look at my analysis that I've been posting, I use a lot this concept of open states, and basically in math, there's a concept called the state vector machine where you get inputs and outputs, and essentially these operate as magnets or high probability targets. So talking about targets, as Brian was saying, like let's say you know where to get in. These open states help you to know where to get out. And so I love using open states, especially again, going back to the concept of like stacked confluence or multiple layers. Sometimes an open state is indicated on the wave 1015 and the wave 7 hourly and the wave 1 daily. And I'll mark that out. In fact, when you see my charts, you see the 3x open state or 2x open state. I do that on purpose to try to indicate, hey, pay more attention when something's happening here. So thanks for all the translation, Brian. I just want to touch a little bit more. Let me see here. Do you have any ideas as to what you would want to look into? Perhaps let's look at, I didn't put all these pictures and stuff in here, but let's look at a bigger picture of what's going on, in fact.
I think people get a lot of value. Okay. So look at a market that everybody loves to trade.
Yeah.
You could do either the SPY or the Qs.
Which one?
And whatever you want. And what I want you to do is give us a hypothetical situation with the data to show us a trade setup, and then show us where you would risk.
Yeah.
And this could be an old trade. It doesn't matter. So where you would risk and where your target would be and why, and kind of break it down based on the data that you have. I think that could be super interesting for everyone.
Okay. So I actually I posted this. It was, sniper. Let me see here. This is on July 7th. So on Monday, I actually put out this chart Sunday for everyone. And then I screenshotted my executions in MES so that everyone could actually see, like, I'm not bluffing with this information. Like, it's actually actionable. So, in the system, I had measured, I saw that that 6313 was an open state across three different fractal charts, which gave me even more confluence, because open states not only act as targets, they also act as potential reversal points. And so I wrote that down. It was a target to the upside and therefore reversion for a short on the downside. Well, when we opened up on Sunday night, we had that big gap up, if anybody remembers. And we smacked, this was before market open. We smacked that 6313. Oh, hold on.
No, it was you could tell it was like perfectly touching, right?
Yeah. Now,
so how did you play that? Like, what did you? I see the analysis that was supposed to be before that move actually took place, which is great. How did you play that move? Like, what did you do?
I'm resharing so everybody could see.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. So, so of course, the best management is not to be impulsive, right? And once we smacked that 6313, I waited for a retest.
Okay.
And
hey, Confluence, retests actually have really favorable probabilities on their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you have a retest of a open state, which open state times 3, which you said the higher value, the times value, the more probability, right? So now you're stacking on top of stacking.
Yes.
So, okay, continue.
And this blue line is called median daily range. So underneath the hood, there's math that's crunched together, and it basically helps me to see that for that day, the way that the probabilities work for the blue levels, you see median daily range at 6307.50 and 6247.75, is that over 90% of the time, at least one of these levels will get hit. This is for every single day. This is just one of the metrics of the system. Over 90% of the time, at least one of these levels get hit. So when I saw this come down in ETH and saw this come back up right before market open, This purple zone is actually a non-fair value gap, and that's not an ICT non-fair value gap. It's actually basically a data-based non-fair value gap measuring like actual difference between buyers and sellers in this area, not just because of the box or in the wicks, but the actual mathematical values underneath the hood. So I marked that out. I had that out in purple. So when I saw this retest into this zone, I entered in near the bottom at 6306.50. You see here, I entered in with 5 micros. Then when we hit the retest of the orange, I averaged in another 5 micros. Now, because I do not try to be a stickler with these levels, I mean, it's like high probability.
It's a zone. It's not a specific level. And when it does hit specific levels, yeah, that's great. But generally, it's a zone. So
yeah, and when I say a zone, it's really like within 1 or 2 points.
That's a really tight zone. So
no,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, oftentimes these levels are top ticking and bottom ticking, and I didn't invent this, so I can brag about it, you know.
Got it.
So I actually put in a limit at 63.12.25 because I wasn't trying to be a stickler about 63.13, and then I set my stop above the purple zone. So you see that first entry, second entry, and then my stop above because that would have invalidated this.
So is that purple zone like comprised of probably volume, delta, maybe something like that?
Yes.
Mismatched orders.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right.
Like you would on a footprint chart.
Got it. Yep. Sweet.
So I just held. I got in. You got to trust your analysis, especially when it's database.
Analysis was great. Where the scale, I love your scaling. You trade very similar to me. I like getting in like a core and then scaling pieces off. It just, for me, psychology wise, it's just way easier. Why did you scale where you scaled? It kind of looks like maybe you scaled in an area that you might have found support, maybe at that hourly vector level. Is that
so actually
scale, or was that actually
those are my TPs. So the red here, the way the executions work in Project X, here this was my entry. I had a total of 10 micros in this play. So 6306.50, 6312.25. My average that Project X told me was 6309.50. And at open, I just held. I mean, we dropped down. We retested the median daily range, and I said, I'm holding this for as long as I need to. So I set my TPs ahead of time because I don't trust myself. So
like most traders.
Yeah. I can't.
I got it.
I learned that I can't. So I set my TPs exactly where you were saying, Brian, right above hourly vector. So you see the 60.29.50. I'm 629.550.
And it's a high probability area. It's kind of where you found a little bit of resistance before, and then it smashes through the level. So now you're probably feeling like really good about the trade. Because it just blows through that. Not even look at the pullback. There is no pullback. It just smashes through the level, kind of gets a little retracement and just keeps smashing lower. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so 6295.50, and then I set another one at the gap fill.
Okay.
So which was 6285.75.
And you know, it's funny, gap fill, that's a probability. You can look at it on Edge Full or one of these other ones. So it's like you're using probabilities with inside probability. So I'm loving your style, man. So we have some questions. Like how do you learn about this stuff? Like, and maybe we'll do those books or references or I don't know, because I'm fascinated by this too. This is pretty cool stuff. What charting program is that? TFDX or Project X, whatever you want to call it? How did you get those lines on there?
So I just drew them on.
Okay, so you hand drew them. I didn't know if you had a plug-in or something.
No.
Like would be really cool.
Like literally just drew them on.
Cool, and awesome.
I take the time to just do it.
All right, where are we at on likes, guys? Chat, where are we at on likes? Are we in that 50 like category? And if so, maybe we'll open up the giveaway. We'll let Roblesh butcher some names, have a good time. I'll share some links. Looks like 27 likes, above 50. Somebody said 27, above 50, 55. I'm getting conflicting information, guys. Come on, chat. Is it 55? Well, Raj shared it, so I'm assuming we're above where we need to be, which is great. Oh, 56 now. Okay, congrats. How about we'll do 2 giveaways at the 56, and then if we can get to 100 likes, we'll do 2 more. I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's not.
I think it's good. All right. Any questions for Roblesh? Let's do that while we're waiting for this giveaway thing going. I'll let you even read them too.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull them up here. I want to learn quant. What do I need to give for?
Yeah, so if you click the question, it will actually pop up so you can read it.
Oh, yeah.
So right now there's one up, but if you want to go back, we can. I think we've missed probably a ton of questions.
Any tips on utilizing AI for QA for non-techie people? Yes. You could use something like ChatGPT to prove how data-based your strategy is. Like, ask it to criticize how you approach your strategy. I think that's a really good way to basically try to bulletproof our approach so that we're not being impulsive, but that we're being analytical. As Brian said from the very beginning, like, this is a brutal industry, and therefore you have to try to bulletproof yourself as much as possible, because the hardest thing you're going to deal with is yourself. You know, as great as this information is, I have to discipline me. The reality is his system, everybody's like, oh my God, this is awesome. He could give the system to tons of traders and they would fail miserably with the system, because it's not just the system. Any support and demand type of thing, those systems work, right? There's tons of stuff, first and second pullbacks, gap fills, stuff like that. There's tons of systems out there. It's not the system that the problem, you know, in most cases, it's the trader. For him, he's found out through 10 years of trading, you know, things that are triggers for him, like, hey, if I don't set targets, I do dumb stuff, right? So he's kind of works within the means of his trading, which is the same for me. Like, if I lose a certain amount of trades in a row, I have to be done for the day, or else I lose my mind, because I think I can get it back. I think I can just beat the market and get my money back. And it's like, no, dude, you're dumb. You're not thinking right. Just stop for the day, right? So I've learned that through trial and error, just like he's learned through trial and error. So the system's not going to fix your broken trading. It's a great system, but it's not going to make everybody profitable. You got to work on yourself. So Love
cool. Good morning. Let's see what else we got. I like this one. It's just nice. TFT for the win. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. How did you find TFT? Did you find it through somebody else, or
no? I was just I was trying to look for a firm that was going to get me to live sooner.
Okay, that's us.
Yeah,
definitely. I don't even know if there's any other firms that kind of expedite you to getting to funded quickly anymore.
I'm pretty persuaded that TFD is the leader in getting people to live.
We put a lot of people, like, there's weeks I'm like, oh my gosh, we're putting more people on live in a week than some of these firms do in like months.
No,
I feel proud about that, because it's like, no, dude, we're not playing the games. Like, you go to live, if you want to pay out, it comes out of the live. Like, you don't have to worry about us being like, hey buddy, did you record your trades and could you send them my way so we can? No, it's like, dude, we don't care. You make money in the market, cool, sweet, bro.
Yeah, awesome. I'm actually so convinced that TFD is a leader in this, that ultimately helps the customer, that I just got a friend of mine, his first prop firm to be TFD. So
thank you.
I'm a fan. I'm not just saying this because I'm on here today. I'm saying this because, like, I really do believe in it.
We paid him. Don't listen to him. We paid him. No, you're not paid.
Yeah.
Is alpha decay as big a factor problem as it's? That's up here for me. I have no idea. Roblesh?
Wait, what?
It should be up on the screen.
Is alpha decay as a big factor problem as it's presented in QA? I would say no. The Greeks, there's an entire niche of products that are being put out there that capitalize on the Greeks and they try to present themselves to be more actionable than they really are. They give you insight, like they tell you what's there, but they don't necessarily help you to understand the sentiment behind it, like the actionability behind it. So many times people can put these on their charts and they see something happening, but they don't know how to utilize it. So, something like alpha decay, which is part of a whole discussion on other Greeks, and charm is a big one right now. It is, but it's not. It helps you to know a what, but it doesn't help you to know a how to do with the what. I hope that helps.
Okay, what else we got? Discipline over system. Hey, Raj, why you click off my... Come on, man. Oh my God, he clicked off it again. Difficulties today. Discipline over system. I'm assuming he's wondering which one's more important.
I suppose it could be said. There's this funny thing going on. People have their chickens, entering orders and being somewhat profitable.
It's probably real, right?
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that online somewhere?
Yeah.
Chickens entering
I think
orders.
I think it's on TikTok. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I don't have a TikTok, but I heard about somebody else who has it.
I'm not on TikTok either.
Yeah. But anyway, I would probably say you can't successfully be long-term profitable without missing one of those two. It's like peanut butter and jelly, eggs and bacon.
Got it. That's perfect. You need both. You need a system. That system has to be, and he's mentioned this is actionable, right? You got to have a clear, concise, this is what I do when this happens. This is what I do when this happens. It's like very engineering-ish, right? You got to know exactly how you're going to handle every situation, because without that, then your ability to actually follow your plan you're not going to be able to, right? Because in some situations you're going to do this, and other situations you're going to do this, and it's based on your mood. And when you inject your moods and emotions and your randomness as a person, because humans are very random, you're never going to find consistent results, right? And then without the discipline, right? So they work together. They're eggs and bakey, right? Like he said. Peanut butter and jelly, if you like peanut butter and jelly. So you need those things, right? So I think it's a mix of both. Okay, now we have some questions that are starred, so this should make it a little bit easier. What's this one? It's just positive. Thank you, appreciate it. Yes, daily payouts.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, that was a huge one.
Yeah, and I'll kind of explain how it works. So let's say you're in an account, you have a good day, and you reach out to our support. We're going to try to automate it. Probably not for a while because we're working on some other features first, but you just go to our support chat. Everybody knows our support chat is crazy quick. We have Dan, Asher, and a bunch of other people that are in there helping out, right? When you submit the payout request, what we do is we basically temporarily lock the account. Lesson learned. Because we didn't lock it one time, and then the person lost the account on top of we paid them out, and that was not fun. So we temporarily lock the account. As soon as we lock that account, we can go ahead and start processing the payout either through RiseWorks.io, which a lot of people have that, which takes anywhere from like 10 minutes to an hour, I think, or Gusto through ACH, right? And then as soon as the brokerage, which will be plus 500, or Dorman, pulls the money out of that primary account, your account, and puts it into our brokerage, like our main account, then we unlock the account. Generally, we recommend people request these payouts after they're done trading, because your account is temporarily locked while we move the funds around, right? So super simple, daily payouts works. It's a game changer for people. We love to get people to take payouts. That's the main goal, because with us, unlike these other firms, we don't pay out of pocket. Like if you make money, we make money. We're all happy. And that's why we bring guests on like Roblesh, because we want people to make money, where other firms might be like, no, this is a bad system. We don't want, don't use it. Because if they make money, guess what? They pay out of pocket. And that's not a good system to have. What else we got? Taking a lot of time.
You spend hours making your probabilities, and then you have to trust them. That's exactly right. Oh, how steep is the learning curve for getting started with the system?
Yeah, that's a good one.
To be honest, 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Based on just the initial what you showed, if you don't have like prior experience in trading and you're fresh and you're trying to learn the system, I would probably double that. Because you're taking, Roblesh, you probably had a lot of experience before, about 2 years ago, knowing kind of the things you're looking at and, Confluence and all these different terms that maybe a new trader would have zero idea, right? Yeah. Where you have that prior experience. And then on top of that, you got to learn all these different things and the setups and the things you're looking for. So if you're a new trader, probably a lot longer. If you're experienced trader, understand Roblesh is an engineer. He's a smart guy. So maybe his learning curve is a little bit expedited.
Which is a liability in this industry.
True. It can be because you think you're smarter than the market. And some dumb guy could be like, no, bro, you just click here and it works. And then they got the conviction you don't have. Yeah, exactly.
Short.
It just works. Cool. What else we got? This is just a positive. Without TFD analytics, I would have taken a lot more time to become profitable. Thanks, team. Yeah, analytics, it's data. That's why I can talk to Roblesh and feel comfortable. It's like he's driven by data. I'm driven by data because when I just let my emotions trade for me and my recency bias trade for me, I don't get anywhere, right? I'm a break-even trader, if that, or I just lose, right? When you have data, it gives you conviction. It gives you more willpower. It all helps when you got a really solid system. That doesn't change every day. That's super important. So I'm glad you found value in the analytics. What else we got? I don't know. I think we're ready to do some giveaways for at least 2 accounts. Where can we get a system trading platform? So he's going to share all the links at the end, probably some books, whatever he can share. Also, follow him on X. You're on X, right?
Yeah, I just posted it in the comments.
Okay, so in comments right here, we'll show it. Oh, Raj just helped me out, and we're basically hurting each other. Cool.
Because it's a lot of information I want to share with everyone and videos and whatnot. So.
Yeah, and he's not asking you guys to buy anything. This is free. No. He is looking. Look, in trading is not easy. It's super difficult, even for extremely intelligent people like Roblesh. I'm sure he's hit some walls, right? When you find a mentor that can help you and you find people that help you, there's this big inside desire to be like, I want to help other people, right? And that's where he's at in his journey. Is like, I want to share what I found that helped me with other people, right? So thank you for doing that, Roblesh. That's amazing. Again, he's not looking for you guys to buy anything. He's not selling a course. Just go to him and see what information he's sharing and gain what you can from it. Grab the little things that he's sharing and put it in your toolbox and find how to develop your own system. So it's great, man. Good stuff. And generally, people we bring on the show, it's not trying to sell you stuff. It's generally people that are offering free advice or free info. That's the type of people we like to bring because, look, trading, there's all kinds of predators out there. And we'd rather just give stuff to you guys knowledge-wise for free because, look, knowledge is power. But you got to filter out all the BS that you find online, unfortunately. Oh, there's the wheel.
Let's do it.
Clicky, clicky. It is spinning.
Let's do it.
As always, as a reminder, guys, if you won before, you cannot win again. Please share the wealth.
Keitanya Komuru.
Name looks kind of familiar. Hopefully they have not won before. If they have won before, we will automatically give your credit to somebody else. What else we got? Spin, spin, spin.
Let's do it. Damian Livingston.
You nailed it, bro. You nailed all the names. You didn't mess them all up. I would have messed him up.
Funny.
Whoa. Where are we at on likes, Raj? Where are we at? We at 100? We doing 4 total accounts?
Uh-oh.
No, we're getting close to 100, but also I think there are some repeat winners.
Got it. That first one was a repeat. I don't think I've seen Matthew before, so...
I don't think I've seen Matthew either. Matthew. Matlock.
Congrats, Matthew. Congrats. That's a $200 credit for whatever you want to do with it. Once we get to 100, we'll do some more giveaways. It's got to be quick, though, because I don't want to keep Roblesh. He's a busy guy. We're already about an hour into the live stream. The time went very quickly because he's sharing some stuff I've never heard about, I've never seen before, and it has definitely perked my interest. Good stuff, man. Cool. Yeah, so let's take this while we have a bunch of people still on the show. You know, now that giveaways, sometimes people start filtering off. Looks like retention's really good, though. People like you. People like what you're showing, so that's good. Let's share maybe the Discord. Is it a Discord that you're in, or where's the best way to find the information, to find what you're doing, to learn what you're doing? Because I know there's probably a lot of people that are very interested.
Yeah, so hold on. I have to pull it up here because I have my monitors all set up.
Yeah, no worries. All right, where are we at on likes, chat? Where are we at? Give me an update. Give me an update. Hit refresh so that it's refreshed. Anyone? Discord is better than X. I prefer Discord myself.
Discord is pretty great.
Yeah, it is super awesome. 76. Oh, I don't think we're going to get those extra giveaways, guys.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, maybe next time.
It's cool. All right.
All right, so he's looking for the data to go ahead and share the wealth of knowledge that he has with everyone. Dave. Look at Dave. Dave is vouching for you guys at this point. I'm from the server. What he is preaching is real and awesome. I don't know anything about the system, and just looking at some of what I've seen, right? I haven't been able to backtest it. I don't know the probabilities, but from what is shown, it's definitely actionable information, right?
Oh, yeah.
Knowing when you have percentages like, hey, it's a 5% that it's going to get beyond this point, that kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, well, if I have a 5% to go beyond this point, then I probably should be looking for a long here. Maybe I should be looking for a short, or vice versa. And additionally, then it's giving you areas of where you'd want to get in, right? Or out, which is great. I missed it. Is this proprietary software? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea on pricing. I have no idea where to get it.
Yeah. So the actual software is $259 a month.
Okay.
But there are, like I said, there are aspects of it that are available for free.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, they don't have a problem with us sharing analysis for free, which is why I'm on here.
Awesome.
So I'm actually going to continue to do my best to share more analysis.
And you share these levels before they happen, which is
before,
not after. Like, hey guys, look at this awesome trade I caught, and I made $1 million. And it's like, yeah bro, that's cool, but you got to get the info beforehand, because no one else is going to be able to catch this move. That's normal. Are you a oil engineer?
No. So I went to school for electrical engineering, and then now work as what's called a DevOps consulting manager.
That's a fancy title, bro. I like it. Cool. What else do we have? Any other questions? And if not, I think he's going to share the information, and then
I'm going to drop a link. I'm going to drop a link to because there's multiple paid communities that use the same software, but I'm going to give the link to the free community.
Oh, okay. I like it. All right.
And if you want to reach out to me about learning from the paid communities, or if you just want, I'm going to try to give you as much free stuff as possible. If you want as much free stuff as possible, follow me on X. I will just pump everything out that I can. That's legal.
That's legal.
So, yeah.
You do some illegal stuff, bro? Hold on, I'm looking for your. Oh, there it is. Raj Hardy. Raj, you were thinking like I was thinking. I was scrolling through looking for it. I couldn't find it. All right, guys, that's his X.
And then I put him
up there for a little bit.
I put a link out to the free Discord.
You opened up DMs, bro. You're a monster. You're saying for people to DM you, you're a monster.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you open up a can of worms. You didn't even know you realized.
I did.
You did not realize how many people are going to DM you now.
Can you tell I'm an amateur?
Nah,
social media amateur.
You're good. I'm never on social media, so I'd probably do the same. All right, guys. If you don't have any other questions, we're going to go ahead and sign off. And I just want to thank Roblesh for coming on, sharing some stuff I've never seen before. Super interesting. Really appreciate it. And let's check one more time. How many likes we got? How many likes we got, guys? Are we at the 100? So I want to do a giveaway. We got a lot of people in here. We got enough people to get to the likes we want. All you guys got to do is click real quick. Boys, girls, come on. Come on. I don't think so. Where are we at, Raj? What are we at? I'm just going to throw him on stage. He loves when I do that. Hey, Raj.
Hey, we're at 79.
79? Come on, guys. All right. Maybe next time. Okay. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll catch you next time. Thanks, Roblesh.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Have a great day. See you, Raj.
Peace.
Bye.